Welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching Channels Television celebrating 21 years of professional broadcasting. Let's share with you some of the pictures that you sent to our portal, and we can begin with this photo sent in from Kebbi. It shows the impact of erosion on this road. Our Eyewitness reporter calls on state authorities to fix it. The next one shows the poor state of a road in Abia State. Our Eyewitness reporter calls on the government to construct a path for pedestrians and larger drains. And here's one sent in from the Uyo-Calabar Road. It shows vehicles in a gridlock. Our Eyewitness reporter blames the poor condition of the road for the long hours spent there. And from Kogi State comes this photo. It shows an overloaded truck. Our Eyewitness reporter wants relevant authorities to arrest drivers of such trucks. And let's end with this photo sent in from Shangisha area of Lagos State. Our Eyewitness reporter commends state and local authorities for the ongoing construction of this canal. Thanks a lot for sending in all your pictures, and do send us some more. The President has approved for further investigation those indicted by the recommendations of the committee investigating the defense equipment procurement scandal of the Nigerian Army between the year 2007 to 2015. The committee found that the Nigerian Army contracts awarded by the Ministry of Defense for the period under review were often awarded without significant input from the end user and to vendors who lacked the necessary technical competence. With respect to contracts awarded directly by the Nigerian Army, the committee found that many of the contracts were characterized by lack of due process. Among those to be investigated are 18 serving and retired military personnel, 12 serving and retired public officials, and 24 chief executive officers of companies involved in the procurement. Those listed for further investigation include 2 former Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General O.A. Ihejirika and Lieutenant General K.T. Minima, former Minister of State for Foreign Affairs, Dr. Nuruddin Mohammed, and 3 former permanent secretaries in the Ministry of Defense, Mr. Buka Goni Aji and Mr. Haruna Sanusi. The approval followed the 3rd interim report of the Presidential Committee on the Audit of Defense Equipment, which was released on Thursday. Literary icon and Nobel laureate Professor Wole Soyinka is supporting the idea of imprisonment for corrupt politicians to serve as a deterrent to others. Professor Soyinka made this call during an interview with journalists after the presentation of certificates and trophies to winners of the 7th edition of the Wole Soyinka International Cultural Exchange Program held in Abeokuta, Ogun State. In his comments on the theme of the program, Corruption, a Battle for the Arts, he noted that the war against corruption should be more inclusive.
Battle for everybody, and definitely the arts must be in front, as usual. Okay?
Okay, sir. So
they are not just the arts, the theologians, the moralists, the philosophers, the masons, architects, builders, everybody. It's everybody's war. The law, NBA. Everybody's involved, including even you. There's only one way for corrupt people. It ends in, where's that place where we have the prison here? Ibarra. It ends in Ibarra, behind our wherever, or Kirikiri.
Well, let's cross over to Abuja now. Here's Gloria Umezuke. Hey, Gloria.
Hello, Joma. Good to see you, and welcome to Abuja, the nation's capital. The Senate has received a letter from the presidency for the confirmation of the appointment of Mr. Ibrahim Magu as chairman of the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission. The letter, which was read at plenary by the Senate President, Bukola Saraki, also seeks the confirmation of Mr. Ndasule Moses, Lawan Maman, Dansi Imam, and Adeleke Rafiu as members of the commission.
I hereby draw Your Excellency's attention to the vacancy that existed in the EFCC. Having carefully considered eminently suitable and qualified Nigerians for the vacant position, I am pleased to inform you of the appointment of the following and to propose them for confirmation of the Senate as provided by the EFCC Act. 1. Magu Ibrahim Mustafa, ACP, Chairman. Natsule Moses, member. Lawan Maman, member. Kalandanchi Imam Najib, member. Adeleke Adebayo Rafiu, member. The curriculum vitae of the appointees are attached for the information of distinguished senators. I hope the screening will, as usual, be carried out expeditiously by the distinguished Senate.
Until attacks by vandals on gas installations in the country come to an end and defaulting contractors are held liable for their acts, Nigerians may continue to be without steady power supply. But that's according to the Minister of Power, Works and Housing, Mr. Babatunde Fashola, who was speaking today in Kaduna State at the second edition of the National Council on Power Stakeholders meeting. Mr. Fashola also highlights efforts being made by the federal government to develop alternative sources of power.
In response to what we now see as a big energy security issue is what we have unveiled in our energy mix. We are accelerating our commitment to coal. We are accelerating our commitment to solar. We are accelerating our commitment to hydro. And as you will see, even in the Kaduna Power that we visited yesterday, is a combination now of gas and LPFO or diesel. So, and all of these are consistent with the first phase of our three-pronged roadmap of incremental, steady, and uninterrupted power. We will have stable electricity when Nigerians stop vandalizing pipelines. We will have stable electricity when Nigerian contractors awarded contracts to build distribution assets, build them properly.
Well, the lingering intra-party crisis in the People's Democratic Party may be dwindling as the opposition party has fixed August 17, 2016 for its national convention in Port Harcourt. The decision was made at a caucus meeting in Abuja, where chairman of the caretaker committee, Senator Ahmed Markafi, told journalists that the party would be amending its constitution to correct all grey areas within the party. This is the first caucus meeting of the People's Democratic Party since May, when the opposition party fell into a deeper crisis after its national convention in Port Harcourt. The party's meeting this time around bears a different body language and holds better promises for its stability as the chairman of the caretaker committee announces a date for its national convention.
The national convention will hold on August 17th to elect new national executive officers of the party. We have also discussed and agreed on a few amendments to the constitution, especially in view of recent court judgments, in order to align the constitution with the judgments that have been delivered by competent courts of competent jurisdiction.
Chairman of the Board of Trustees underscores the progress made within the party. He says special committees have been set up to cement reconciliation efforts in the southwest.
We had a meeting with Sharif up to 4 o'clock this morning, and we have done a lot to be here. At a very appropriate time, Sharif will appear himself at a meeting to be called. I assure you, within 2 weeks, you will not hear about any disturbance within PDP again.
We now want to correct the situation, and we'll go ahead and make some further amendments that we think are in the best interest of the party. For example, we don't want any person to hold the party to ransom in any convention.
As it were, the quake within the party has settled as reconciliation efforts continue. And in the days ahead, the opposition is assuring Nigerians of better transparency in the system. The Lagos State government has kicked off the 2016 edition of its annual tree planting campaign. The governor, Akinwumi Ambode, reaffirms his commitment to vigorously pursue the state greening policy of total regeneration of degraded sites. Addressing participants during the launch of the exercise, Secretary to the State Government says government is determined to ensure that the target of planting 10 million trees by 2020 is realized.
Tree planting has been identified as one of the cheapest means of combating the effects of global warming and climate change. The Lagos State Government, through its annual tree planting campaign, draws the attention of residents to the importance of planting tree for sustainable environment. The theme of the 2016 edition of the exercise is Lend a Hand to Save Trees. It provides another opportunity for all to demonstrate commitment to sustain the environment.
Lagos State has become a positive reference point in Nigeria about creating a green environment. We remain committed to this cause and we will vigorously pursue the state greening policy of total regeneration of the graded site as part of our pact with the negotiations. We shall integrate tree planting along all new roads being constructed, create more recreational parks and gardens, and ensure that all open spaces in Lagos are landscaped and beautified with plants, shrubs, and flowers.
The Lagos State Government is also partnering private organizations and environmental experts to successfully achieve the objectives of this campaign and meet the target of 10 million trees in the year 2020.
We have a plan to plant 10 million trees by 2020. I'm reconfirming that even before that time, we'll have planted the total target we have set for ourselves.
Whatever Lagos does, you can see it's like raised above the normal bars like you see. So we're actually very proud to be associated with this environmental campaign.
Lagos State has set the pace, and the rest of the country, including the federal government, have to really move fast. The stature of our environment minister gives a room for a lot of optimism. But to be honest, no government in the world is doing enough.
To effectively drive this campaign, a green club involving school children is launched.
I wish I had a cap.
The campaign is taking place simultaneously in 83 locations across the state.
Well, the Kwara State Governor Abdul Fattah Ahmed has lent his voice against provision of land for cattle rearers. The governor made his views known while playing host to some church leaders at the Government House in Ilorin, the state capital. Well, Governor Ahmed insists that cattle rearing cannot develop into big business if the owners are not allowed to use their own resources.
Roaming cattle rearers are a very, very strong support of protein production in Nigeria, and we must recognize them as supporting the country with part of its protein needs. But at the same time, it has to be provided in such a way and manner that the protein will improve our growth and development, not destroy us. And this can only be done if we truly understand the fact that the policy on livestock farming requires to be strengthened to enable access to land and other inputs to support.
When the news at 10 returns, Naira likely to fall next week as currency traders predict strong dollar demand at the interbank market. Well, that's in business news. Please join us again.